Achilles is a part of the Heroic Spirit cast members. I am very, very surprised. I love Achilles. I love his legend, his myth, what he stood for in the stories. And seeing how this man apparently is going to be a part of our cast of characters, I'm pretty fucking hyped. But it's not just that. Atalanta as well. Now, I don't know if I'm saying that one right, but regardless, though, I've heard about both of these heroic legends. They're legends that I feel like everybody at the very least has heard their name at least once. And seeing them in this series, seeing one an archer, one a rider, I'm like, bro, this fate is pretty fucking badass. Achilles, his cockiness, and how he was just saying, come at me, bro. That's pretty much what he was doing. Come at me, bro. I'm immortal. Come at me. That, I loved it. I fucking loved how the man was very, very, very aware that he's almost completely immortal. Anything cannot kill him. There's only a certain way he can die because of his weak points, and I'm just really glad to see Achilles aware of this. He's like, come at me, bro, let's fight, let's go at it, like, you guys can't do shit. I just like how this man was tanking stuff, and he just didn't give a shit as he was fighting. Very fucking badass, by the way. Now, Atalanta as well, in terms of archer skills, oh my god, like, yo, that was badass. And speaking of design-wise of Atalanta, I love the cat ears. I think that's cat ears. I love the cat ear features to her character. The way she looks and the way she actually has this seriousness about her, the way she was just, sniping with her arrows. Love it. Badass fucking character. I love the combo that Achilles had with Atalanta in this episode while she was backing him up shooting arrows while he was just fighting on the front lines. Very nice stuff. And then also Chiron as well. I really like Chiron in this episode and how he was fighting Achilles from a distance and he was, sniping him. And then, as he sniped him a couple times, eventually he had to where Chiron almost hit Achilles' weak point. And Achilles like, And then he starts dodging the man, taking the man very seriously. I like how Chiron figured out who Achilles was. Now that was a wonderful moment. That really just made me fangasm in that given moment when he realized who, he was fighting and it was Achilles. Like, good shit. Fucking good fucking shit. That makes me just happy. So, anyways, let's talk about the big point of this episode. The episode centers around the Rider class servants, the Archer class servants, the Berserker class servants, and then a Saber class servant, and then Ruler as well, but Ruler's for later. So, Riders overall, once again, we get to see how great Riders are. They always have some of the best personalities in terms of the Fate series. I mean, Achilles being the Rider, acting like he did, perfect for a Rider class servant. Astaphyl, going out of his way to actually save the artificial human and then doing what, he thinks is right. Very typical of a Rider class servant, and seeing something like that just shows what type of person Astaphyl is. Not, a stuck-up asshole or anything like that. Clearly does care about others, the well-being of others, and is willing to disobey their master's orders for the sake of others, to help out others. So, that made me very happy to see Astaphyl do something like that for this boy and save his life. Now, speaking of the Berserker-wise, Berserkers are in this episode, and Spartacus and Frankenstein have a little bit of focus. And Frankenstein, she's very powerful, very fast, as we can see. She charges Atalanta, knocks down a tree, and just shows that she's completely devastating. Like, this woman is just insane. You don't want to get near her, but that's to be understood, because, I mean, when it comes to Berserker class servants, they're very powerful, and you honestly don't want to get into a close range fight with them, because they will fuck you up pretty hard. I mean, that's what we've seen from other Fate series. So, seeing, Berserker or, Frankenstein go in like she did, that was to be expected. So I am looking forward to more of her, because she has a very cute design, and I just want to see her just going on a rampage, wrecking house. But let's talk about Spartacus for a second. Spartacus, he went down. The man was... Holy shit, that thunder just scared the fuck out of me. Did you hear that? Anyways, though, Spartacus, he went down. And I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I expected a lot more from him. I really did, because he's Spartacus. He's Spartacus. I expected him to showcase a lot more, but I guess he's not necessarily dead, because the episode does let us know that they're going to be switching him over to a new master. He's going to be serving their side instead of the side he was on. So in this case, Berserker is no longer going to be on our team or the other team, but on their team that captured him. And speaking of teams, you know, when you look at it, we don't really know which is the good side in this Fate series. We don't know if Mordred's side is good or if Astifold's side is good. We have no idea. I mean, there's obviously some good and bad people on both sides, and it makes you wonder who should you really vote for, like who should win this. And in this case, I'm thinking that most likely Ruler is going to be the main central, you know, character or group of this series, because since Ruler's like neutral, the neutral party, one character, well now technically two since the artificial, you know, human's going with her, I guess that most likely is going to be the main group. I'm assuming, you know, Jeanne d'Arc is the main character or the artificial human is the main character, one or the other, because they're in the neutral party. But getting back on topic though, Spartacus, he was taken down, he's not dead, but he has joined the enemy team, or, you know, Astifold's team, so to say. And that's not good, because even though Saber technically died in this episode, like Siegfried, he sacrificed himself, well, I'll get into that in a moment. Even though he sacrificed himself, we know he comes back somehow because of the first episode. It spoiled it. The first few minutes of the first episode let us know that Siegfried is going to come back and start fighting, so he's not dead. So, that emotional scene doesn't have a lot of weight when you think about it. I mean, if it tried to make me feel sad or whatever, I don't feel that. However, it was a great scene. I will get into the message and all that. It was a great scene, but even though it was a great scene, I don't feel sad that Siegfried died, because I wasn't that attached to him, and I know he's going to come back because of the opening of episode 1. So, I'm kind of curious exactly how he continued to live, or how he's still alive in the first episode. I'm under the impression, most likely, since he gave the heart to the boy, maybe somehow he's going to manifest himself through the boy. Maybe the boy is now his new master or something. I have no fucking idea, but that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's how he's probably going to come back. Since he gave his heart, maybe he linked himself with him some way, and then now the boy is his master, and he can, you know, materialize and all that, and there he's there now. Something like that may be a possibility, but regardless, though, I have to say that, if you look at it, since we know Saber's not dead, the team, Astifold's team and all that, they actually gained a lot. They got both Berserkers on their side, and even though Saber died, he's technically still alive because of the first episode, so the Mordred side lost a person, while the other team gained a person. So, that's GG right there. That's not good at all. But, let's talk about Siegfried for a second. So, Siegfried, as a character, we found out last week, he was very empty. He was an empty shell. He was someone that always followed orders. He always did what everybody told him to do. He would not really question it. If someone told him to go die, he would go do it. We even saw that. He would lay down his life if someone told him to do it. And that was the type of person he was. He didn't really have any motives, goals, or whatever. Everything he did was for the sake of someone else. For instance, he just listened and he obeyed to what they wanted him to do, and he became this killing machine, this legend, so to say, because of how he was. But in that way, though, when he died, he never accomplished anything. He never was able to gain anything because he had nothing he wanted to obtain. But when he died, he didn't have anything he wanted to accomplish. But when he died in this episode, he actually had something he wanted to do before he finally died. He gave up his life. He gave up his heart. Not out of a selfless reason or following orders. He gave up his heart, his life, for his own greed, his own selfishness. But it's very poetic that the first thing he does for himself is selflessness. He gives up his life for the sake of another. But this was his first act of greed he has ever done, in terms of doing something for himself. Because he's always listened and did what others wanted, and never did what he wanted. But when he took his own heart, gave it to someone, he still did what everybody else normally told him to do. Hey, you know, save this person, whatever. But he didn't need someone telling him what to do. He did it on his own. And so the first thing he did was a selfish thing, but it was for a selfless act. Very sweet. Very, very good way to kind of conclude the character if that was really his finale, because we know he's going to come back, so it doesn't really make much sense why it would be so sad. So I don't know, but a really interesting character. I like Siegfried. I like the design of him and how he, acted as a hero. He was a good hero, and he was definitely a hero among heroes because of what he did for the boy and how he allowed this boy to continue on living. Now, speaking of the boy, this character, the artificial human, is like a blank canvas. And yes, in normal circumstances, that would be a bad thing. However, since the boy is an artificial human and is someone that was recently created, so he's a newborn. He's a newborn. That's how you can actually look at him. He's a newborn. And when you think of newborns don't really know what they want. Newborns, they don't really have a goal. They don't have an objective. They don't really know why they live. They have no idea what's really going on around them. And in this case, as a newborn is, how they're like a blank canvas that can be changed in any way thanks to their upbringing, that's how this boy is. This boy is someone that is a blank canvas. He's very blank, doesn't know what he wants, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know why he should live in the first place, and he can be molded in any shape or form and become a very good character depending on how the series goes. And since this is Ryder that is watching over him in a way, and then Ruler now is going to be watching over him, I'm going to assume that this boy is going to become someone very crazy. Awesome. Because, I mean, when I think of, Riders from other series, like other Fate Stay Night, or like Fate Stay Night and then Fate Zero, Rider class servants always give nice lessons to their, master. And in this case, I feel like the artificial human is going to learn a very important lesson, and he's going to develop into some crazy-ass character, like in terms of just development-wise, like what we saw from Waver in Fate Zero. So I'm really looking forward to that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.